A tragic ending to a magical career. Basketball star Magic Johnson is calling it quits.
The HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting tonight from CBS News headquarters in New York. Good evening. The official word came just a short while ago. The dazzling career of one of America's and one of the world's best-known athletes is over. He is only 32. Basketball megastar Magic Johnson has the AIDS virus. My colleague Pat O'Brien of CBS Sports is standing by at the Los Angeles Forum, home of the Los Angeles Lakers. Pat?
Dan, thank you. In fact, they call this the Magic Kingdom because of his exploits on the basketball court. Not since Lou Gehrig announced that he had an incurable disease has there ever been such a stunning announcement from a professional athlete. Magic Johnson, who missed the first 3 games of this regular season, was said to have had the flu, and then today he confirmed the nightmare. He has tested positive for HIV. Here is some of what he said.
First of all, let me say good late afternoon. Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today. I just want to make clear, first of all, that I do not have the AIDS disease, because I know a lot of you want to know that, but the HIV virus. My wife is fine. She's negative, so no problem with her. I plan on going on, living for a long time, bugging you guys like I've always have. So you'll see me around. I plan on being with the Lakers in the league. Hopefully David will have me for a while. And going on with my life. And I guess now I get to enjoy some of the other sides of living that because of the season and the long practices and so on. I just want to say that I'm going to miss playing, and I will now become a spokesman for the HIV virus because I want people and young people to realize that they can practice safe sex. And, you know, sometimes you're a little naive about it and you think it could never happen to you. And you only thought it could happen to, you know, other people and so on and on. And it has happened, but I'm going to deal with it, and my life will go on. And
Irvin Johnson is arguably the greatest to pick up a basketball in 12 years, an All-Star 11 times, 3 times the MVP, 5 world championships in the 80s. He revolutionized the game with a flashy style that gave him the name Magic. He was the inventor of Showtime and is credited, along with Larry Bird, with really saving the NBA in the early 80s when interest was waning. As a human being, one of the most generous people in the public eye, certainly one of the most popular worldwide. His fans range from 2 to 92, and like Muhammad Ali, he really did and does transcend sport. He is loved by virtually everybody. People who are close to Magic Johnson said he is taking this as a big challenge. You heard him say that he's going to be a spokesman for safe sex and the HIV virus. As for those fans we were talking about, I am just across the street where some little kids are playing basketball, and I think Magic would like them to remember him as a basketball player with this anecdote. A couple of years ago in Dallas at the All-Star game, at the end of the game, score is tied. He's trying to win it for the West. He threw up an impossible 80-foot shot that almost went in. It bounced back on the floor. He got down on the ground. He was pounding his fist, and after the game, I said, "Irvin, you didn't expect that to go in, did you?" And he said, "I expect them all to go in." Courageous man. Back to you, Dan.
Pat O'Brien at the Los Angeles Forum. Thanks. NBA players and coaches expressed their sorrow and concern about the Magic Johnson news.
As you saw, the old Irvin, he is alive, but not very well right now. And, you know, we do not, want to eulogize him. We want to now give him, all the love and support and prayers and all the other people that are afflicted by this insidious disease.
Magic is a super person and has done so much for the game of basketball and for people. And we're just devastated, and let's hope now that we even focus more on finding the cure.
Just look at every NBA player's hands, and they're just all full of nicks and scars and cuts that have, you know, from fingernails and all the times that you've, you know, slammed in somebody's mouth with your elbow and you're bleeding, he's bleeding. There's just a lot of blood on the court, and if one person has AIDS, no matter, you know, how sad that his situation is, if he just gives it to one other person, I mean, just one other person, NBA dies from that. It's a tragedy.
Basketball fans were among the many people around the world stunned and saddened by the news about Magic Johnson, whether those fans be in the stands, in a big college, or a little ratty gym, or on the playgrounds. Correspondent Harold Dow has been out gathering some of their reactions.
Magic Johnson doesn't know Charles, Harry, Jamal, or Vanessa, but they sure know him. They know his moves. They've seen his magic. At a New York City YMCA today, magic was all they talked about. It was as if they had just been told that a favorite relative was ill.
I was hurt. It seems like I grew up with Magic. I've been watching him so long, and I love basketball myself. I felt like I lost a personal friend in my family.
He meant so much to basketball, not only to the Lakers.
Not only to the Lakers, but to everyone. Everyone that's trying to make it in society.
I've been watching him since I was a kid, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I just came here and I just heard about it, and I'm still shocked about it right now.
As fans, their thoughts are with Magic, but they all realized that this is one contest that Magic will have to fight alone.
My heart goes out to him and his family, and I hope he managed to pull through it, you know.
If Magic Johnson could get it, now I know everybody could get it.
For so many young people on basketball courts across America, Magic Johnson was Mr. Basketball. He was the link to their dreams, dreams of what could be. Today, those dreams have been shattered. Harold Dow, CBS News, New York.
Our special coverage of this story that broke late in the day, Magic Johnson with the AIDS virus and retiring, will continue in a moment. Coming up, a complete medical update on the AIDS epidemic.
Before investing in any luxury car, may we suggest you do slightly more than kick the tires.
In art, matters of taste are often subjective. But in life, good taste is well defined. Fancy Feast gourmet cat food. In the gold single-serving can. Exceptionally moist, uniquely delicious. For a gourmet taste to satisfy even the most discriminating connoisseurs. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize.
The news that basketball superstar Magic Johnson has the AIDS virus has again put the spotlight on a frightening and much misunderstood illness. What is AIDS? How do you get it? And what, if anything, can be done to treat it? Our CBS News health correspondent Edie Magnus is here with a report on that. Edie?
Dan, with all of the attention given to AIDS, there is still a surprisingly large number of people who do not know how you get this syndrome. There are 3 known ways: through sexual contact with an infected person, through intravenous drug use with a dirty needle, which is an infected needle, or through getting infected blood in a transfusion. AIDS is an acronym, as you may know, for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. Acquired because you get it from someone else. Immune deficiency because the AIDS virus breaks down a person's immune system, which is the natural defense system against disease. When the immune system is deficient, a person is vulnerable to getting any number of diseases which can kill him because the body has no way to fight back. For 10 years now, the AIDS virus has defied some of the most brilliant scientific minds in the world. It is a devious virus because by destroying the immune system, it destroys the body's only way to fight it. And there's another way it is devious. It can infect someone, and they may not know it right away.
There is a very long incubation period between infection and disease, during which people are infected, can transmit the virus to others, but feel well and look well.
In the last 10 years, nearly 130,000 people have died from the AIDS syndrome in the U.S., and the Federal Centers for Disease Control estimates that 1 million Americans are currently infected with AIDS, although many of them may not know it. The good news, if there is any good news, is that in 1991, people are living longer with this syndrome than they were just 5 years ago. 5 years ago, once a person developed any complications from AIDS, such as infections or cancers, he or she lived only about 11 months. Now, a person can live with AIDS complications for around 3.5 years.
Within 5 years, we will have combinations of drugs that will allow physicians to keep their patients, if treated early and continuously, to keep their patients alive for many years.
We should emphasize that Magic Johnson may live longer than 3.5 years because he hasn't developed the symptoms yet, so he says. By the end of the century, Dr. Krim believes we will have an AIDS vaccine. For now, there are 2 drugs approved for treating AIDS, AZT and DDI, and there are a number of others which treat the complications from AIDS. No one really talks about curing this syndrome. Scientists hope that one day, like measles or influenza, they may be able to turn it into a syndrome that people can survive. Dan?
Edie Magnus, thanks. The list of people who have died of AIDS is growing, and so, slowly, is public awareness. As Richard Threlkeld reports, the casualties come from all walks of life, including, as is in the case of Magic Johnson, some of America's best-known names.
Mr. Rock Hudson has acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
So far, 126,159 Americans have died of AIDS, including, among others, Rock Hudson and Liberace and Holston and Perry Ellis, designers, and Michael Bennett, the choreographer, and Keith Haring and Robert Mapplethorpe, artists, and Roy Cohn, the attorney, and Terry Dolan, the conservative activist, and Max Robinson, the anchorman, and Jerry Smith of the Washington Redskins, and Ryan White, the little boy who caught AIDS and lost a brave battle against it. When somebody we know or know of dies of AIDS, we are shocked. But for every famous victim, there are thousands who suffer and die of it quietly, often anonymously. A patchwork quilt of Americans known only to their loved ones or only to themselves. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
There is more CBS News ahead, including President Bush traveling again in Europe and our special series on the money crunch here at home. Tonight, a warning about packaging that gives you less than you expect.
Comes from behind the back, a fake. Oh, the pass. Here we go.
Magic Johnson angry.
I wasn't expecting to be in the hospital for 2 weeks. Suddenly there I was, having a cesarean. David was wonderful. And when it was all over, I had this perfect little person. And a lot of pain. Later, I was kind of surprised when the doctor gave me Tylenol, with all the other choices they have, but the Tylenol made me feel better, so I could put my mind on more important things.
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Our competition uses a very sophisticated, state-of-the-art, highly precise device to measure their cars. Our car, the Accord from Honda. Presto has a great idea.
Shoot some slices, shoot some shrimp, shoot some salad, salad shooter.
Now, Presto has a great big idea. Professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity, holds a lot, shoots a lot. Powerful, fast, a variety of cutting blades so you can point and slice thick, slice thin, shred right into the bowl, even ripple cut. Chop, grate right where you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, store anywhere.
Salad shooter.
Original, cordless, now professional salad shooter.
Does she have a right to have more kids if she can't take care of them? She says yes. A judge says no. What do you say? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
For the second week in a row, President Bush is on a trip to Europe. Democrats at home are trying to stake out some ground. They stepped up the campaign against Mr. Bush's economic policies, or lack of policy, as the Democrats see them, with a new proposal to give tax breaks to middle-income Americans. Bob Schieffer has the latest.
When Harris Wofford won that surprise Pennsylvania Senate victory by promising to help the middle class, other politicians shifted into high gear with their relief plans. Today, the Democrats' top tax expert unveiled his.
If you're a middle-income American, you get a tax cut. If you're in the top 1%, you get a tax increase. No bells, no whistles.
Here's how Rostenkowski's plan would work. Over the next 2 years, taxpayers would get a 20% refund on what they pay in Social Security and Medicare tax, with a maximum refund of $200 for individuals, $400 for couples filing joint returns. To pay for that, income taxes for individuals earning more than $85,000 a year and couples earning more than $145,000 would be increased from 31 to 35%. And a 10% surtax will be slapped on anyone who earns $1 million or more. A parade of Democrats loved it because they say tax cuts for the wealthy have backfired.
We were convinced that if we just lessened taxes on millionaires, it would all trickle down and we would all feel it. What we're seeing is nobody even got damped. Nobody got trickled on.
But it was Rostenkowski's plan that Republicans dumped on.
It's an attempt to redistribute the wealth. It is a reincarnation of George McGovern, but it is a stingy George McGovern.
It may well be next year before Congress votes on any of this, but it does show what Campaign 92 promises, with both sides trying hard to fix the economy, or at least fix the blame. Dan?
Thanks, Bob. In fairness, President Bush and Vice President Quayle say that the economy overall is in pretty good shape. Many consumers, of course, don't see it that way, and some consumers have to watch every penny and what they get for their money. Some products are not all they're packed up to be. Jacqueline Adams shows you tonight in our special month-long series on the economy, The Money Crunch, Making It in America.
The message is loud and clear.
Well, if it tastes this rich, fill it to the rim.
With brim. Apparently, though, what's fine for the cup is not for the can. General Foods has added Brim dark decaffeinated coffee to a growing list of products whose contents have shrunk, but whose prices have not. Investigators say the products range literally from soup to nuts. Lipton's onion soup mix used to hold 2.4 ounces, now just 2 ounces. Eagle brand mixed nuts, once 11.5 ounces, now just 10.5.
You're paying the same price and you're not getting what you're supposed to.
I do feel like they're just trying to pull a quick one without us noticing.
I feel cheated.
Seasoned pink salmon was especially clever. The manufacturer tapered the bottom of the can. Chicken of the Sea and Starkist didn't touch their cans. They just eliminated a 1/4 ounce of tuna. Bumblebee did the same thing and reportedly was able to save 1.7 million pounds of tuna fish in just 1 year.
The reality is that it's a backdoor price increase, and that's where we think that there's a degree of unfairness, if not deception, involved.
The Attorney General's wrong. The product is accurately labeled. People know what they're buying. They're getting that from the information that's on the front of the package. They're getting it from the unit pricing.
Nonetheless, New York State Attorney General Robert Abrams wants legislation to warn consumers of package shorting in this state and nationwide.
Abrams became an outraged consumer himself when he noticed that the 32-ounce ragu spaghetti sauce he normally bought contained only 28 ounces, yet the price remained the same.
Consumers are busy. They're not taking their microscope or magnifying glass out. They're not acting as Sherlock Holmes, looking for the small print to find out that indeed the amount of content has been significantly reduced in that product.
Outraged consumers do have an option. Investigators say they must read labels carefully, and when they spot package shorting, complain loudly to supermarket managers and buy another brand. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
President Bush is in Rome at a NATO summit. The president said the United States will never abandon the Western alliance, but he asked whether NATO still wants the U.S. to play a central role in European defense. The NATO leaders adopted a new strategy, small crisis response units. They also invited their former enemies of the Warsaw Pact in Eastern Europe to unprecedented security talks next month.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has less than half the calories of that apple?
Wow!
Did you know that V8 has more vitamins A and C than that tossed salad?
Wow!
And did you know that V8 is 100% vegetable juice, so it has no fat, unlike that low-fat yogurt?
Wow!
So how do you feel now that you know these things?
Wow! I gotta have a V8.
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
When you call 1-800-4CHOICE, you get more than a great room at any Choice Hotel. You can also
bring the little buckaroos along for free at any Choice Hotel, like Econolodge, Roadway, or Friendship.
That's very smart. Excite your husband at any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep Hotel where weekend rates start at $29.
I'm excited. I get a 30% senior discount just for staying alive this long.
Would you believe they have corporate rates up to 30% off?
I can believe that.
At more than 2,500 Choice Hotels worldwide.
Unbelievable.
So you could save a fortune.
And after a life like mine, that's about the biggest thrill that I can take. But to get any of these deals, you've got to call. That's 1-800-4.
CHOICE.
Oh, they've got yours, Dave. Hey, I thought that was my line.
Bye-bye.
To get your choice of great rooms and a great deal almost anywhere, call 1-800-4CHOICE.
They say when you have a cold, eat chicken soup. But did you know that eating certain foods may prevent disease? Meals That Heal, all this week on CBS This Morning. It's breakfast for your head.
You hear it in cities and towns all over the country these days. You have to learn to do without, because government at every level just doesn't have the money. The words come from government officials preaching belt-tightening. But as Richard Roth reports in tonight's Eye on America, they don't always practice what they preach.
Any other written appointments?
It's been called a legacy of the 80s, left on the sidewalks of urban America, an economics lesson about shrinking resources and growing needs in every major city. In Los Angeles, the welfare line starts at dawn and grows all day.
People are told by caseworkers to come in, we'll have your check for you. They get there, they wait 5-6 hours to get nothing. To get nothing.
One of the biggest counties in the nation has one of the nation's biggest populations of homeless, and a public health and welfare system that costs almost $6 billion a year, but hardly begins to meet the needs of the poor. Now a scandal over how government spends its money has sharpened the focus here between the haves and have-nots.
It's probably the least responsive local government historically that exists anywhere in the country. And for the most part, people who have influence don't care.
The outcries over news that county officials were cutting funds for health and welfare, pointing to a budget squeeze, at the same time they were spending lavishly on themselves, on bonuses and weekend retreats at plush resorts, and on office improvements. In one case, $6 million worth of remodeling, including elegant conference tables and marble flooring. County supervisors were buying bulletproof cars with chauffeurs earning more than social workers. A symbol of the critics' complaint, a towel bar and toilet paper holder costing almost $300.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at a $6 million renovation to see that if you had a little fair distribution of what there is, you would not find kids living in boxes in Skid Row.
Let Mr. Dixon complete a statement, then ask him a follow-up
No, I'd
question.
like him to answer my question. I didn't even ask him a question. I asked the question of General Counsel. He interrupted General Counsel. Now answer the question.
The County Board of Supervisors, once a genteel club, all male, all white, has become a forum for angry debate, sparked by its newest member.
And yet the law says that you got to tell us.
Gloria Molina, the county board's first elected woman and first Latina, is also its biggest critic. The board chairman's called her an anarchist.
It isn't basic common sense. I mean, you should not be redecorating offices when we have a crisis in health care.
A few dollars spent for modernization, making the work area safe, and bringing in the computers and communication systems allows that individual employee to be more productive. The person receiving the service is going to be better served in a quicker time.
But in the streets, critics see no sign government efficiency's been improved by office renovations.
They can talk about spending millions and millions of dollars on computer equipment, and we can't even compute how many people in this county are suffering.
And the argument is fueling fresh debate about the suffering common on urban streets everywhere. Is there too little money left for government to spend, or is the money being spent with too little care? Richard Roth, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Also from Los Angeles, coming up next, an update on our top story, the sudden and shocking retirement of one of the world's greatest athletes.
To protect the lives of firefighters, DuPont developed a remarkable fire-resistant fiber for their clothing called Nomex. But perhaps even more remarkable is how it protects those who never even wear it. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference.
Jan doesn't need an alarm clock. What she does need is a good cup of coffee. Now, for some, that means getting out the percolator. For Jan and her daughter, it means Folgers crystals. Mountain-grown, slow-roasted, custom ground into crystals. It's this simple. Folgers brews the coffee. Jan enjoys it. You see, the real test isn't how you make the coffee. It's how the coffee makes you feel. Folgers crystals.
Nighttime, one of the worst times for pain. That's why you need new Ultra Strength Bengay with added power. It's the strongest Bengay ever. Fast relief from muscle aches and minor arthritis pain. With new Ultra Strength Bengay, you can say goodnight to your pain.
Do yourself proud, make you look beautiful, do it for yourself with Minwax and Wood.
Get beautiful color with Minwax Wood Finish and lasting protection with Minwax Polyurethane.
So do yourself proud with Minwax and Wood.
Power. Applied intelligently, its effects are magnificent. Witness the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. Powered by the world's largest 24-valve V6 engine and an electronic transmission. It's a car designed to provide a more intelligent standard of performance, measured not simply in miles per hour, but by a slightly different gauge, miles per gallon. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Tomorrow's headlines on page 1 and the sports page. After suddenly testing positive for the AIDS virus, Magic Johnson suddenly said tonight he is leaving the basketball court. The court he ruled for a dozen years as probably the best point guard of all time. 3 times he was the NBA most valuable player. 9 times his Lakers went to the NBA Finals. They won 5. In basketball, baseline to baseline, Magic Johnson knew only winning. And the man who seems to be always smiling tonight was smilingly vowing to be a winner over the AIDS virus and to go on living for a long time. The spread of lethal AIDS, part of our world tonight. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. See you tomorrow. Good night.
By Magic.
Throughout